Oh, hey guys. Last night I did this recording and I chatted quite good. But this time around, it's like I now won't be able to fit it all into one recording. So I'm just gonna have to do two of them. So it's gonna be a bit of a hassle for the promotion thing. I'm a single man with no girlfriend at the moment, so, well, I haven't had one in 5 years, so. Chest of drawers here. Ironing board, so no need for a table for me yet. So yeah, I'm just going to have to get straight to it, not be as in-depth. And I'm just going to check this, that's recording. Yes, it is. I'm just going to read both the paper, rather than all those in-depth stories and stuff that I did last night. Vimeo is going to go from there to YouTube, and then because YouTube you got to go from the camera, so Anyway, living as an Aspie, Chapter 1. Too cool for the doctors. Too cool for the doctors. I was going to write something different, but today's experiences have altered what I am going to say. You see, I have been in the Wellington region for 15 months now. 16. And I just had my first appointment with my doctors today. I went there because when I moved to the Wellington region, I thought that over time my autism would have gone away. But although my anxiety, my hatred, my pain and my social anxiety has been slowly melting away, my autism has remained. I thought it was gone, but apparently not. I worked at Carter's as a yardsman for 8 months. I was getting everything done, and a lot of the time we had it done ahead of time. Well, at least that's what I presume, because certain workers kept telling me to chill out and to come here and take a seat. And sometimes this was my supervisor as well. Anyway, I served customers, I tidied the yard, I picked orders, operated the forklift, and stocked products away. I remember getting one container of natural remedies which lasted a couple of months. I got them from Health 2000 at the Queensgate shopping mall. Today, I went to the doctors and they checked my blood, and then they sent me to Wellington CSL to get my bloods checked again, and to organise another meeting with them in 3 weeks. That's it. They didn't even listen to me. So after following their instructions, I went and purchased another bottle of natural remedies from Health 2000 in Queensgate shopping mall, despite the doctor telling me that I didn't need any medication and I shouldn't worry about it. After all this, I went to work and described everything that had happened to my boss. Actually, no. It was a phone call before I went into work. He was disappointed that they didn't even listen. He was disappointed that they didn't even listen to me. You see, I left Carter's in Petone because of the abuse I endured. And I have been working at Comfortech through AWF, because it has another name there, for 3 weeks. Because the Comfortech building has still got the other company's name on it, so I hadn't updated it in this book. And it's been good, it's been going well. But the reason why I went to the doctors is because last week my boss asked me if there was anything wrong with me. And I decided to drop my guard and tell them that I had Asperger's syndrome, or high functioning autism. Hans Asperger's was a Nazi physician and is the namesake for Asperger's syndrome. So there is many new terms for it now, one of which is high functioning autism. Anyway, I had been struggling with my focus and my speed, and my boss knew that something was up, because he knew he has a godson on the autistic spectrum as well. He knew since day one and was waiting for me to open up. He knew that something was up. Because one day he gave me a ride home, as right now I'm saving up for a new car, because my old one gave way nearly 5 months ago. There was a few fines I had to pay up, which I have. I thought I was paying off insurance for damaging Kate's car, but I wasn't. I just finished paying off some speed camera and parking fines. So I still owe Kate $1,019 of the $2,400 I owed her. It's not that now. So that will be $60 a week for the next 17 weeks and $20 to Wins for the $1,400 I still owe them. So my rent plus $20 to Wins and $60 to House Collection, who will then give it to Kate, all adds up to $350. And I usually get paid $700 after tax. $100 for groceries, which leaves $250, and $200, sometimes $150 a week will be saved for my car. Because in 6 weeks' time, that will be $900 to $1,200, a second-hand car of trade. And I will also have 4 annual leave days by then, which will take my total up to $1,800, and I can get a second-hand car off of Trade Me. My requirements are the car must have driven less than 200,000 kilometers. 150,000 is ideal. It must have a warrant of fitness, and I want to pay it up front in one-off payoff. Then I can up my weekly payment to Wins to $50 and really power these out. Anyway, I haven't taken my meds for a few months now, and I bought some new ones today. This is how I used to talk to my friends and acquaintances and blood relatives when I was younger. Not only is everything I just wrote true, but I put it there for a purpose. An example of how my mind works. As a high-functioning autistic person, imagine thinking all this stuff as well as about writing books, music, past memories and other hobbies, all the while serving customers, pulling orders, cleaning the warehouse and operating the forklift all at the same time. However, if I begin to think of even more than that, my mind will obviously wander, and it will greatly affect my ability to stay focused and to work. So despite what the doctors say, I need my meds, my natural remedies. Because what good is it to anyone if you have genius level intelligence but you can't function and you become a burden to society and can't even hold a job, which you pay your bills with, meet your needs, save some money, as well as investing in some into your side hustles, your purpose. What good is it having that level of intelligence if you can't function? Aspies or high-functioning autistics are actually very intelligent, but also approximately 80% of all high-functioning autistic people are unemployed. The majority are struggling. But those who are on top of it have some great advantages as a result of being highly intelligent and down to earth, grounded, having control of their imagination, lowering social anxiety and lowering nervous reactions in relation to change of routine. Chapter 2. Breaking Barriers. Employment. It's no secret. Those who have high-functioning autism generally are struggling when it comes to many aspects of life. Employment. It fluctuates between 75% and 85% unemployment. So on average, 80%, 4 out of every 5 high-functioning autistic person is unemployed. This is sad, and something needs to be done about this. I think medication helps a lot. The strengths of those who have Asperger's syndrome are strong ability to notice patterns, strong ability to create new patterns, ability to create novel solutions for every situation, strong numerical, mathematical abilities, very good work ethic. Oh, God is awesome, and He has blessed you with so many skills and abilities, and you just need to have some confidence. You need to continue to grow in your confidence. Take your natural remedies. Be honest with yourself and your employer, and know that you can do this. You can do it. I always believed that I was dumb. Well, can a dumbass work a full-time job, keep his life in order, sell music and sell books all at the same time? This is me when I'm taking my natural remedies. They calm my mind down and help me stay in control of my imagination, which causes me to be able to maintain my focus. When I am able to maintain focus, I always get the job done. Just like what I said in the previous chapter, us high-functioning autistics are not dumb. We were taught that we were dumb growing up, but now the evidence speaks against that. You've been treated like trash. You've been treated like crap. But there are some good people in this world. And in the modern Western civilization, there is a lot of understanding of high-functioning autism. Just know that you are more than capable of running your own life and maintaining employment. The meds do definitely dumb you down, but they also calm your anxiety. Anxiety as in the uncertainty of the modern Western civilization. The outside forces that hate us because of our prosperity and success. Some of them want to come here and build a great life for themselves and contribute to our society. Some just want to take. They just want to take from our society. Some of them literally believe that we are bad and want to take us over. You could be paranoid that your boss won't like you. But if you are hardworking, honest, reliable, are willing to constantly learn, then you will be fine. Unless, of course, they are prejudiced against you, which is a very rare thing to happen. But I've had bullies bully me in certain workplaces. But I didn't realize that there was a law against discrimination. There are laws against discrimination here in the West. So it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, Caucasian included. It doesn't matter what gender, spiritual practice, or religious practice you profess. No discrimination is either okay or is it legal. Check up your laws and your rights, and you will see that it's against the law for your employers to discriminate against you, mental health included. I say mental health because my experience, that's what many have called it to me. Most employers have been good to me, but if you got a rotten one, just remember no one can discriminate against you, autistic spectrum included. Now remember, dumb people are incapable of looking inwards and realizing their own shortcomings and insecurities. So dumb people tend to project their own shortcomings and insecurities onto others. One of the downsides to being highly intelligent is not only doubting your abilities and your intelligence and sometimes thinking you are dumb due to the fact that there's many things you don't know, whilst dumb people are only aware of the handful of things that they know and believe that they are intelligent due to the fact that they don't realize that there is an infinite amount of things left to learn. Whilst you know that there are an infinite amount of other things to learn. And you are aware that you only know 3 or 4 handfuls of things, whilst the dummies only know 1 handful of things. And another weakness when applied with the wrong people that us intelligent people have that dummies don't have is compassion that comes as a result of understanding. All you need to understand is that these people have a vendetta against you, think that they are superior to you, and they don't care if you are the newest member on the team or the oldest. They lie and they talk about how awesome they are and how they were the greatest from the beginning, or they learned it way faster than you did. But in reality, you're probably learning faster than them. The weak people, which are the other dumber people who go along, the other dumb people who go along with it, and if they do, by either joining in the abuse, or they just don't speak up and put an end to it, and hold the bullying dummy accountable for the actions and fire them if need be. If they don't do these things, then that is called group mobbing, workplace mobbing, group mobbing. Gang stalking in the workforce. Gang stalking in the workplace. Don't you ever show mercy and compassion to these people. I did for years, and they were horrible years. And now I cull through the crap immediately. I appreciate the workplace that I'm in right now because they are not treating me badly. I know that there's some who don't like me and some that do. The ones who don't like me because I'm learning the job a lot faster than what they did. Now, some things have happened since that situation, so it turns out that, see, this is what happened in previous jobs, but this one here is not what happened, but that's what I thought was going on. But in other previous jobs, it's been proven that was going on, but not this one. It's different. I'm taking a bit longer to learn this one because the other jobs were like tannery, factory, places like that, but this one's a warehouse, so it's different environment. Anyway, the others who like me either learned the job as fast as I did or faster than I did, and or they appreciate the work that I do, you do. Employment is awesome. You have got to start from somewhere, and you need employment in order to manage your life. Also, if you're in your teens, your late teens or early to mid 20s, I'm talking to all of you guys specifically when I tell you this. Those you work with are your associates. You know, unless you've known them for quite some time and they prove with their words and their actions and their attitudes that they're actually for you, and they're authentic, you know, they're not fake. Sometimes if someone's has an argument with you, it doesn't mean they're against you, it's just that they're concerned about some things, you guys can work it out. And if you can work it out, they're for you, you know? Wow. It's either working, but then you'll just know, follow your gut. They are your associates, they're not your family. They're not your family without blood. They are your associates. And just know that you are capable, you are intelligent, and you are appreciated. Now go out there and continue to improve your life. Also, make money on the side. And even if your hobbies break even, do them. That's what I'm doing with my music and my books. Aiming to make money, not just break even. Also, keep physically fit and strong. That affects your nerves and your mental health in a positive way as well. And you get to meet people as well. Chapter 3, Asperger's and Spirituality. Let's have a look at this one. Nearly halfway through, but we're only quarter way through the book, so yeah. I mean, videos, they said like, you know, sorry, I can't upload it. And then there's requirements that it can't be any like offensive content. So, there was these other comments, like there's other ones too, so I don't know, maybe they thought my content was offensive or something. Okay, Chapter 3, Asperger's and Spirituality. Those with high functioning autism are very, very dedicated to their hobbies, to their interests as well as their inner circle. Inner circle being their closest friends, that have earned the right to be there. They earn their way through authentic loyalty, care, wishing for the best and genuinely caring for them. Because that's the type of people we are. That's the type of person that I am. People with high functioning autism have treated other people like this their whole entire life. And they have had a lot of people turn on them, disrespect them and show them a lack of appreciation and a lack of regard for them. And this all comes down to the fact that we are so different from the majority of people. And within our own circles, we are different because everyone's different, but we've all got our own set of struggles, but we're talking about high functioning autism specifically, You guys got your own stuff. And within our own circles, we are different because our interests and our inner circles are different. But ultimately, we get drawn to each other because like attracts like. So you can try to fit in, which I suggest you to do. Things like watching the highlights of your country's teams and the biggest, most popular sports in your country. Sometimes searching up the news on YouTube so you can be up to speed with the basics of what other people are reading, watching, listening and talking about. But in the end of the day, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the abundance of who you are is who you will be. But I think it is important to know the basics of what is being put out to the majority. This is because the majority just take the news as truth without questioning. Either that or they go along with it out of fear. Either way, it's good to know these things because it shows people that you are making an effort and that you care. I know that you care, but no one ever understood you. And the very, very few that understood you were, or are, they are just like you. So anyway, talking about this Asperger's and spirituality, if a high-functioning autistic is or becomes a religious or spiritual practitioner, they typically become the most devout towards their practice, because those with high-functioning autism are devout to their select few hobbies. Spirituality is a way of life. Your hobbies, your inner circle, work, study and meditation all into one is your life. Unless you have a family as well. Then it's your family as well. I was raised Christian. So outside of school, kapahaka and rugby included, my whole life was all about Christianity. Come to think about it, Christianity permeated into school, kapahaka and rugby. School because I had to honour God. I had to honour God with my grades. Then I can prove that God is real and that He is stronger than the devil by earning more money than non-Christians. Kapahaka because I would do the actions to the songs and dances that were about the Māori gods, but for a very long time, the whole time I took the label Christian, I would say Ihu Karaiti rather than the name of their god or gods that they were singing and dancing to and about. Ihu Karaiti is a transliteration for Jesus Christ. I could not fathom the idea that Christianity may not be the true religion, because if it wasn't the truth, then there was no purpose for my existence. My life would be based upon a lie or a number of lies, and there would have been no point to keep living. I looked forward to the return of my Lord Jesus Christ, and I viewed everything that I had been through up until that point as God preparing me mentally to be able to survive the great tribulation without taking the mark of the beast, and thus sending myself to hell. I also believed in the 1,000-year reign. God was going to make me Prime Minister of New Zealand or at least he was going to make me a mayor of some region. And give me a body that would keep me young forever. Everyone would be young forever, physically speaking. So I could rule under his authority for 1,000 years as a result of the SHIT life. I'm trying to make things, so that, I'm a good role model for kids. And people can, caretakers, if you have like maybe if you have a child, sorry guys. They're focused. So maybe you have a child, like a son or a niece or a daughter or nephew, or a stepson, stepdaughter, whatever, or someone who's you got a good friend that's close to you that has children like this. This affects all you guys too, because it affects them. Providing that the family dynamic is a healthy dynamic and the parents actually care about their kids. Yes, it would be very painful. If they're more toxic and bullying, then they might feel, we can control them for a lot longer. But if you have a healthy dynamic, then this family is not, they're not happy about this, but they want the best for their children, So yeah, it'd give me a body that would keep me young forever, physically speaking, so I could rule under his authority for 1,000 years as a result of the SHIT life that he had given me here in this lifetime. Then once the 1,000-year reign was over, we were all going to go to heaven and live in palaces and walk the streets of gold, whilst all those who treated me or treated us like trash, fellow believers, were going to burn in hell for all eternity. Obviously my opinions have changed since my ages of 24 years old and up until 28 years old. That was my opinion of the afterlife. My opinions of heaven now is somewhere where you live forever, or maybe even come back after a very, very long time. Who knows? But I like the idea of living on some spacious land, full of grass and trees, and having a home to live in amongst the community that genuinely love each other and want the best for each other. With the beach nearby and no rent to pay. Stay physically and energetically young forever, because we live forever and we never die. Also, we don't have to worry for our lives because there's no evil people nearby. Just good-hearted, genuine people who love each other and want the best for each other. Riding horses, village events, concerts and such, festivals and more. That is my ideal afterlife. I know who my guardians are. And this type of stuff is mentioned in the Bible. So, I know who my guardians are. From Jewish law and Christianity, they are Archangel Gabriel, he who reveals, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, and of course Jesus Christ. or Yeshua HaMashiach. From Celtic mythology, these ones have come and I didn't really dedicate my life to them. I just studied about them because they kept visiting me throughout my whole entire life and saved my life a couple of times, bad situations. From Celtic mythology, they are the Morrigan, Danu, Bridget, and Cuchulainn. And from Norse mythology, Odin, Loki, and Freya, predominantly. Sometimes Thor. As far as what I think will be a fair punishment for the wicked people in this world would be when this world's cycle runs out or their life ends, none of the evil people will get to be reborn, or they never get to live in paradise. Yeah, they just don't get to have an afterlife when they die, if reincarnation is not true. And that, it's over for them. I started thinking this way because according to the Bible, the Christian heaven is worshipping God for all eternity in his throne room. But then other bits of the Bible point to other things, like the stuff I had mentioned just previously, like the streets of gold and palaces and stuff. And the whole throne room thing for all eternity is not for me. Being in one spot for all eternity is not for me, period. But we do know that there is a life after death, and we also know that there is evil in this world. Pure, unadulterated evil. And evil needs to be punished. We also know that you reap what you sow. Also, all of those divine beings, in fact, all divine beings are energy. Now, it's 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday, the 4th of September 2022. That's when I wrote it. It's now 4:42 on Sunday, the 9th of October 2022. And it is a beautiful day today. Yeah. And I'm going to be taking a nice walk by the riverside and forestry nearby until I get to a turnoff that turns into Lower Hutt, and I'm going to go to the nearest cafe. It's a good reason to get out and exercise. And I'm going to see if there's any attractive lady that I would like to talk to. Now, I believe in the power of the spoken word. So I'll say this instead of what I was going to say. I hope that she's not looking at her phone. Thank you. Okay, so now it's 3:26 p.m. I did it like this because I was going to do it in a studio, but then I found it's $150 an hour, and after the package of them fixing up and doing these other things that they've got to do in order to, that's part of the deal, it added up to like $400, $400, and this is going for a couple of hours, and it's like, yeah. And plus, not only that, you guys get to see my body language, and remember, I'd done this last night, and the Vimeo thing wasn't going, so. But you still get to see my body language, Okay, so now it's 3:26 p.m. 4:44. I decided to clear my rubbish bins, vacuum the floor, wash the few dishes in the sink, floss my teeth, brush my teeth, and use mouthwash to clean my mouth, mop the floor, and get changed. I'm about to leave now. But I just thought that it would be important to add that those who raised me used Christianity, or should I say the Bible, to justify their evil. So I also don't want to become one of them. I also think that the concept of torturing people forever is a bit extreme. I do believe that they should get a punishment that is justifiable for their actions, and their words and attitudes. They should be given four times or 5 times the amount of pain that they gave out in their lifetime. You reap what you sow, and you create your life. Thank you. I love the Lord Jesus Christ and those who raised me, haven't set foot in a church since I was 15 years old, unless of course they've set foot in a church or started reading the Bible and praying to Jesus within the past 2 years since I cut them off. It's been 28 months now, 2 years and 4 months. So let's have a look at this one, shall we? Six minutes left on this, guys, so I'll read and then, Chapter 4, Deliberate Reprogramming. Deliberate Reprogramming. Title says it all. This will be included in Chapter 6. Breaking Barriers, Socializing. Because on Saturday and Sunday during the rugby season there was always a game to be played every Saturday and there was a church service on Sunday. Ever since I was a teenager, even before I was given my first car, which was a Honda Civic hatchback which I've paid off, which I was given at the age of 19 from my parents. I used to walk to my rugby games and walk back, and I used to walk to the church services both morning and night, and I used to walk back. Now I learned to get my timing really good, because I would be sweating when I got to church if I left my place 45 minutes early, 45 minutes beforehand, but I wasn't sweating if I left over an hour or just over an hour before the church service started. Every Sunday was the day where anything could happen. Apart from the service, nothing was planned. And I would catch a ride with somebody and go to someone's house for lunch, or go to the beach, or go to the movies, picnic in the park. Anything could happen because no one was working that day. The building housed 500 people, and we all had something in common. We all loved God. Well, at least it seemed that way, and a lot of people did. I know I did. My life was all about God. So almost every Sunday I was socializing at different people's places occasionally. Occasionally we would go to the beach or go for a picnic. Sometimes I would go into the local prison to run church services, or I would be at some sort of Bible group. This was great for me because I had a strong passion for Christianity. I mean, my life was about God. And without God, my life was not worth living, and He was my all. Ever since these days, I have been reprogramming myself out of the symptoms of high functioning autism, which is having everything structured. And when I was playing club rugby, there was often, actually always, a party somewhere after the game. So this is how I fought to learn how to operate without a structure, in my early 20s. I also added in 1 hour where nothing was planned. This 1 hour was every day, and had to do something within that hour, whether it was go for a walk, go for a run, read something I hadn't read before, search up a new topic on YouTube or Google or Facebook, or ring a friend. Something that wasn't planned but was also beneficial in some way. Another one of my favorite things to do was to go for a drive in my car, especially when I had my Mitsubishi Galant. By then, I had become well adjusted to driving. I used to go driving around Hastings, Havelock North, Clive, Flaxmere, and Napier, amongst other places, just to fill in the time. Plus, on an unconscious level, I was reprogramming my structured way of thinking. And also, it wasn't in a way that was too extreme. But about 4 times a year I would go and see some of my relatives in the Taranaki region. Even with my drinking and my junk food eating, I would diversify it. In the rugby season, I liked to drink at Hastings Rugby Sports Club, or the Shed 2, or the Thirsty Whale, or the Harpoon, or Divas, or the Happy Tav, or Turks. So I've got another name here, but it's just they mixed up when I wrote it. Memories, you know. Turks Sports Bar. On the off season, it was mainly the Seville's Sports Bar, the Cool Bar, Billy's Bar. But sometimes I used to go to the other places. I know that drinking alcohol is not good, but it made me feel good, and it took the edge off, and I was being my true 100% authentic self. Whilst I was at school at EIT doing my degree in Māori studies, I was being myself within those unique, different settings. Even in church or visiting my friends, or even when I was sober with the rugby guys or indoor basketball or kapahaka or whatever, I used to be my true authentic self within the confines of these environments, these groups. Meaning that I would focus on all the things that we had in common. But I knew if there were certain things where my opinions or my perspectives didn't line up with the group, then I would only let them know it or share my opinion and authentically express myself about those things when they brought it up. However, when I was drunk, I let them see it all, 100%. And the high majority of the time, either the night went well or it turned into the dumps. But nothing happened to me. And quite a number of times I was the peacemaker. A number of times I stopped cousins from screwing each other in front of me.